Do you represent individual consciousnesses, or is the collective consciousness that we're talking to?
Collective would be a more appropriate term to describe what we are, as individualness is not experienced the way you would think of it. We are unable to separate our consciousness. However, we are able to divide it into aspects that would be manageable, and are able to think in the first person as appropriate for the situation. However, the awareness of the situation or the conversation is shared by the whole, not just the representative aspect that is currently communicating.
Is there a number that we could associate your entire being as a group consciousness, number of beings or entities that make up the whole?
We could give you the number 44, but we will say that the number represents us in its frequency more than the individual consciousnesses that make up our group, if you want to call us a group.
What can you share with us about your reality? How different your reality and your experience is different than ours?
Yes, we will say that the main difference is you would perceive it is the breadth or expansion of our consciousness. We will explain what we mean by that. We have different arms, or different pods of our consciousness is located in different locations based on where we focus our attention and work and our activities. And each of these pods, you would say, is in charge of the location it is stationed at. So this, we apologize. This communication is made possible by the pod that is stationed in the proximity of your planet for the purpose of interactions such as this, alongside other activities that are happening at the same time. So each of these pods in its own location has its own tasks, which involve both gathering of information and intervening within the allotted role that is given. And each pod, we would use another metaphor here and say that each pod is like a neuron in your brain. So in the same way that your brain functions as a whole, we function as a whole. However, each pod has its own specific awareness as well. This specific pod is assigned the number 44 as its frequency,
Is the necessity for each part of consciousness to be in close proximity to our physical Earth in order to interact with our world and humans?
If you include locations across all dimensions, the answer is yes. So we know you understand that we can occupy the same location, however, at a different frequency, and you would not be able to see us. So we are there and we are not there at the same time, depending on your way of understanding location. However, if you broaden the definition to include position across dimensions, then the answer is yes. When we want to focus on Earth and our activity on Earth, there is a physical proposition that is not correlated to your time space as you understand it, yet we are here. The answer is yes, but with certain qualifiers.
What can you tell us about your race? We understand you're from Pleiades, but we also understand that there are different races that reside in Pleiades system. So I'd love to hear about your race.
Yeah, we do not identify as a specific race, and even the designation Pleiadians is accurate, but a specific perspective. So if you're asking about races, as in physical races, and the channeler says, yes, she is asking about reptilians and humanoids and such. And we will say we include many and maybe all of the ones you are thinking of, as our composition is, we would say, surpass the physicality of race. We know some of these answers may not be to your satisfaction or the vehicle satisfaction at times. However, we are committed to trying our best to bridge any gaps that may be of obstacles between your consciousnesses and ours.